Did you know that you can actually build a killer PC in 2025 for under 1500 USD? Today, we are breaking down the best PC you can build for $1,300 in 2025. We are going to pick the right PCs for your next PC that can run all the newest games on high to ultra settings as well as esports shooters in case you want to compete in high FPS gaming. And on top of that, it can handle anything you throw at it, whether it's content creation, productivity work, or just gaming at 1080p, 1440p, or 4K resolution, all without costing a kidney, which seems impossible in today's market. I will walk you through every PC component, showing you why each PC part is the best choice for our budget. And of course, I will show you the exact level of gaming performance that you can expect. Now, you will find a link to this main PC and PC alternatives for cheaper prices and more expensive ones down below in the video description with the latest prices and availability in your region. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. First, let's talk about one of the most important components for a PC, and that's going to be the processor or CPU. Here, I went with the Ryzen 5 7600X, which is one of the best price to performance CPUs in the entire market. And the CPU is very important not to bottleneck the graphics card and achieve the smoothest performance without any FPS drops. Now, I will talk about the graphics card in just a second, but before doing that, I also want to say that the CPU is very important when it comes to esports games. So if you want to play a game like Fortnite, for example, or Valorant, the CPU is going to play a huge role, and the Ryzen 5 7600X is very fast when it comes to these type of games, so you can expect well over 240 plus FPS on average at 1440p resolution competitive settings, or even faster performance depending on the esports game. So feel free to buy a 360 or 240Hz 1440p monitor if you want to compete in these type of games and achieve the highest frame rates. Now, let's talk about the graphics card, which is the main component when it comes to gaming. Here, I went with the RX 9070 XT from AMD, which is the fastest AMD GPU in the entire market, and it will allow you to play any game that you want at any resolution. Now, if I have to make a recommendation, I do recommend you buying a 1440p monitor for you to combine the best quality with the best performance at the same time. So in my opinion, 1440p is the best resolution. At 1440p with the 9070 XT, you can max out the most high demanding games out there at 100 plus FPS on average with no issues. And I'm talking about games like Cyberpunk 2077, The Last of Us Part 1, Microsoft Flight Simulator, very high demanding titles. And if you want to play at 4K, you can also expect smooth frame rates at around 80 plus FPS, or even higher performance if you turn on FSR, which is the upscaler from AMD, and it works amazingly well at 4K for you to achieve smoother frame rates and maintain that image quality. Now, at 1080p, you will be achieving very high frame rates, and in my opinion, it's a bit of an overkill for 1080p, and you can save up your money and get a $1,000 gaming PC and still achieve insane performance. But again, if you want to play high FPS types of games like Valorant or Fortnite, having a 1080p monitor is going to be a great idea, and in that case you will be achieving very high frame rates in those type of games and high demanding ones. Now, you have to keep in mind that for the rest of the components, you get very high quality components with a great quality motherboard with Wi-Fi included, and then when it comes to cooling, you get an aftermarket CPU cooler for the Ryzen 5 CPU. That way you don't get any issues with the CPU temps, and you also get plenty of airflow from your case in the Montec X5M, which is one of the best value cases in the entire market. So overall, you are getting great airflow with pre-installed RGB fans, and you will have no issues when it comes to your graphics card or CPU temps. Another thing that's quite important is the memory, and here I went with 32GB of DDR5 memory, so you will be achieving not only a great gaming performance, but also streaming and content creation performance. So if you want to do more than just gaming, having 32GB of RAM is going to be the sweet spot. And last but not least, I went with a 1TB Gen 4 SSD that you can always upgrade down the line if you need more storage. I feel like 1TB is enough for most people, but again, if you need more, you can upgrade down the line or go with 2TB right now. Now, I will talk about a few upgrades that you can make to make this PC even better in just a second, but before doing that, I want to say that the price for this entire build is going to be just under 1300 USD by the time of filming. Maybe when you're watching this, the price is different because prices in this gaming PC market change every single day, so I do recommend you checking the latest prices and availability from the video description box. Now, let me walk you through a more expensive alternative in case you want a more premium PC with better performance, and then I will talk about a cheaper system in case you want to go under $1,300 and still achieve smooth performance. Now, for the more premium PC, I do recommend you upgrading from the 9070 XT graphics card to the Nvidia RTX 5070 Ti. The 5070 Ti is better overall, and it has a better feature set. So you get DLSS, which is the better upscaling technology for you to have a better image quality if you're going to be using an upscaling technology while gaming. You also get a better level of ray tracing performance, and you have to keep in mind that some productivity work and content creation softwares work better with Nvidia. So overall, the 5070 Ti is going to be the better choice for a slightly more expensive price. And then I do recommend you going for 2 terabytes of Gen 4 SSD instead of 1 terabyte. That way you get more storage in case you want to install more games or just transfer heavier files. Now, if you make this upgrade, the total price will be around $1,400 for the entire build. So yes, you are spending around $100 more, but you're getting more storage and a more complete graphics card. So I highly recommend you making this upgrade, especially if you can afford it. Now, on the other hand, if you have less money to spend and you want to save up some money, I only recommend you doing one thing, and that is downgrading the graphics card from the 9070 XT to the Nvidia RTX 5070, which as of right now is going on an insane discount. Now, I don't know if it's going to last, but as of right now, you can get the 5070 for $480, which is $70 cheaper than its MSRP, which is unheard of from Nvidia. Now, if when you're watching this, the price is a bit higher, then the total price for the entire build will be slightly higher. But honestly, for $480 for the 5070, it's a great deal. You are getting an amazing graphics card for 1440p high to ultra settings, and also it's a killer for 1080p. So if you play either at 1080p or 1440p and you have less money to spend, honestly, this upgrade will make a lot of sense. The only time I wouldn't recommend you making this downgrade is if you have a 4K monitor and you are going to be playing the most high demanding games out there. In that case, it wouldn't make sense to spend less, but honestly, if you're playing at 1440p and you want to play on high to ultra settings, or especially if you play at 1080p, I do recommend you making this downgrade if your budget is tight. The total price for this build, if you can find the 5070 at $480, will be around $1,100, which is an insanely good price for a PC that will perform amazingly well at 1440p in the most high demanding games out there, as well as esports shooters and 1080p resolution. And by the way, you can also play some 4K with the right settings depending on the game. So it's not like you cannot do any 4K gaming. It's just that if you want to play at 4K on the most high demanding games on high to ultra settings and you're not thinking about playing with upscaling technology, then I wouldn't recommend you making the downgrade. But by all means, the 5070 is actually quite decent for 4K, once again, if you are using the right settings. And if you want to get a pre-built gaming PC instead, because maybe you do not want to build a PC yourself, and I will completely understand that, I made a complete video talking about the best pre-built gaming PCs of the month for every budget and every resolution, where you will find gaming PCs from $1,000 to $1,500 for the best price over performance. So you will find that video in the top right corner of the screen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.